Welcome to Florida Coastal's 6th annual Sea Oats planting, where we'll be going to Atlantic Beach. That is Atlantic Beach, not Jacksonville Beach. Find your way there. Atlantic Beach, a city on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean, which is why we're going there. This is Atlantic Beach. Capel, you are going to meet at 13th Street. The 13th Street exit and work your way up to the north. Environmental Law Society will meet in the middle at the 17th and Dewey's Avenue. And up to the north, we're going to have PDP stationed at 19th Street, and PDP will work your way south. This is Beach Avenue and 13th Street. This is where Capel will meet. You will see this sign. There's only 2 parking spots right there, so there's not a lot of parking. You're not permitted to park on beach, so you have to look for the side streets, such as 13th. You can do parallel parking. Carpooling is recommended because space is limited. So you follow the path out towards the beach. This will be the direction where Capel will meet. On the left, you can see the water tower. This is where you will get your refills for planting when needed. If you continue, you see signs like this. Please don't disturb the Sea Oats because we're here to make the Sea Oats better. Don't step on the living plants and try to keep your footprints to a minimum in the dunes. But you do have permission from the city of Atlantic Beach to be there. 13th Street for Capel. Meeting at Dewey's Avenue entrance, which is a little trickier to see, will be Environmental Law Society. Come to Dewey's Avenue or also along Beach. See, it's a nice place to run. You'll have to park on Dewey's. You can park the parallel streets in the neighborhoods a little farther away from the beach. The path is not as easy to see, so when you cross the road from that sign, oh look, it's a nice day for biking too, you take your path. There's a nice little brick path. You'll follow your way up this little brick path. It will take you to the beach. It's the hardest one to see, but look for Dewey's Avenue. As you go up with the brick path, follow it. It's going between a couple of houses, but you'll still be in the right place. Just up on the left of this path, if you look to the left, you will see the water supply for the 17th Street group. And that little spigot is the water supply. As you head out to the beach, from the beach side, you'll see Dewey's Street. It won't say 17th. The beach ball will probably not be there, but you can bring your own. PDP, you're going to meet at the 19th Street intersection with Beach Avenue. There is some parking on 19th. However, 18th Street just to the south has even better parking, but you'd have to walk a little bit. And this is what the entrance looks like to the beach. As you can see, there is a lot more space, unlike the Dewey's Avenue one. There is your water supply right there at the top of the hill, so it's a little bit of a walk from the beach, which is a good reason to conserve water as you go. But the 19th Street group can walk down that path. You'll be working from that intersection and heading south. There's the sign. Again, the bicycle may not be there, but look for 19th Street. How to plant a frickin' Sea Oat.
All right. Now we're going to pretend we're planting a Sea Oat. Of course, I'm not doing it up there. In the Sea Oats because, for one, I don't actually have any Sea Oats. Sea Oats are grown in Florida, only in South Florida this time of year, so I couldn't even get one to show you how to actually plant it. So I made a fake one. You may recognize the ruler. You don't have to bring a ruler with you, but some of you it might help. A basic Sea Oat, what it's going to look like once you get it out of the container, you're just going to take it out of the container. The beach ranger's been keeping them nice and watered down for you, so when you get it, they'll be in a black flat, kind of plastic flat. Don't yank the Sea Oat out of the flat unless it's loose. So you just you need to just kind of massage the black plastic, if you will, when it comes out. Take it out. It could be, think of it as milking a small cow. Maybe that'll help some of you. Whatever. But the base of the Sea Oat you're going to see will have a dirt and a root ball essentially at the bottom end, and then you kind of see a little brown area, and then the top of it should be green. Basic concept for planting a Sea Oat is, of course, the root ball needs to be completely underneath the ground, and you can even probably cover it by at least an inch of sand to make sure, because the sand will kind of get patted down by the water as well. When you're watering it, You'll have gallon jugs with you, but do keep in mind that watering the Sea Oat, all you're really going to need for the Sea Oat is about 6 ounces minimum, probably 12 ounces maximum. Anything more than that is just wasting water. Anything less than the 6 ounce minimum, then the Sea Oat may have trouble because the sand around it will be so dry that it'll pull the moisture out of the root ball. We don't want that. Give you an idea of what 6 ounces is. Remember, these little bottles of water, these are about 17 ounces. So remember, when you're looking at the big scheme of things, think about the bottle of water being about 2 plants each. That should suffice for what you're doing out here. So it's not something you have to go dump a bunch of water, but if you must err either way, overwater, don't underwater. Planting will be much easier. You have a spade, some sort of shovel. You don't have to up there. You can do it with your hands if you needed to, or just a wooden stick. But it's going to be very easy as long as you do it correctly. Here, of course, sand is really soft. It won't be quite as soft, but you can see when you get down, it starts getting a little bit more moist. You're simply going to want to hold deep enough that it's going to cover the root ball when we're done. You'll simply take some water before you fill in with dirt. Make sure that the water gets in there. That water is moist, then you simply repack the dirt all the way around it. Add a little bit of water again at the top. Ta-da! The Sea Oat is planted. That's all you have to do. As far as spacing goes, they don't need to be any closer together than 6 inches apart. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know 6 inches, there. They can be that close. I wouldn't do them any more than a foot apart from each other. Where you want to make a border on a trail or on a path, and you want to make the path distinct, do them 6 inches apart. Where you're out and you need more space, do them 12 inches apart. One of the things is some people, whenever they plant them, think that they should be spaced out quite a bit. It only works if they all survive. Some of them won't survive, so go ahead and do them 12 to 6 inches apart. You can see it's easy, just takes a little time, effort, and a little bit of love. Keep up the good work.
Where to plant a frickin' Sea Oat. All right, one of the basic ideas for planting is you're not going to be planting on the flat line or the flat sands. You're going to be planting on the dunes. Our goal is to hold the dunes. So you look and you want to plant above what has become known as the weed line. The weed line looks like where those arrows are pointing. You can see that above this line and kind of this little lip of sand is where the weeds that are already growing. This can include dollar weeds and grasses. You will always want to plant on the high side of those. Plant up there. Don't plant down low where it's flat sand that the grasses will just die. Keep in mind that you want to keep your footprints to a minimum as you're going up and down. And if you have to step back to where there's some holes, then do not crush the weed line or the dune lips. You can see here a good example of kind of a small precipice, a bit of a dune lip. That separates the line from where you plant and where you won't. In this mixture of plants up there, you can see that there's not just sea oats growing. There's also dollar weed and other types of grasses. The reason sea oats are important is the sea oats will outlast the dollar weed and the grasses when it comes to the hot period of the summer. A lot of those plants there are not sea oats. So when you plant, try to put a sea oat in the same area where you don't have sea oats already. Those grasses won't survive the drought times. If you see a hole, an opening in the dune like this that could use some work, first thing is if you have to step on a bunch of plants to get there, then leave the hole. If you can make your way there to one of these openings without stepping on the current plants, then go ahead. Now, one of the tricks is that you can see here we've got about 30 feet of space, 30 feet of planting, because the weed line is already at the bottom of the picture frame. But you can't plant everywhere. Sometimes the things you don't see will be very important as well. I don't know if you can tell right now, but there is a path in this picture that needs to be maintained and needs to be respected, and it's right there. You will be responsible for maintaining the paths that belong to the homeowners. Pick any property term you like, easement, real covenant, whatever. Maybe it's just a license. Either way, we've got to respect it. So, to see the aerial paths, you can look at it from above. The paths look like this. and of course they're easier to see that way. You've got to make sure that you do not plant in somebody's path. And you need to line the sea oats very close together. Do this 6 inches apart so that the path is distinct. You can do them close together, somewhat like this image shows you, but give the path about 2 to 3 feet space, but make it clear so that the people from that neighborhood will know where they're supposed to walk and where they shouldn't. Their natural inclination will be to walk in any direction. If you put down a good path, it will help the homeowners as well as the locals know not to walk on the dunes. This is the water supply, and this will give you a good example of why you want to conserve the water. Because we've started the clock going, and you can see that to fill a gallon is not an immediate concept. Cheese. And so, if you have to make multiple trips, you'll get tired of this very quickly. But of course it needs to be done. The plants will need water. But it takes about 1.5 minutes to fill a gallon of water this way, which can take a bit of your time and kill your fun. So please, conserve water. And just keep watching how long this takes, so it'll give you an idea of how much fun it is.
Now you see why as few trips as possible to the watering hole is what we'd like. So if everybody could bring some buckets or bring some containers, it would help out a lot. It's also a good reason to make sure you're not wasting water when you're down planting the sea oats. Here we go.
And that's how you fill up a water bucket. Please bring some sunscreen, bring your own water and refreshments, keep yourself hydrated as you work out on these dunes. It is your privilege and honor to help take care of the dunes and take care of the beach. We're looking forward to a fun day, so bring a good attitude and you will have a good time with the rest of us. And we'll see you Saturday morning.